is it going to be before you're done? Because on several occasions, it's almost like you're alluding to, you only have but so many fights left. You're looking to walk away from the game.
Will Tank Davis make the necessary adjustments to defeat Lamont Roach in the rematch? Or is this a case of a fighter having another fighter's number? We can go back in the history of boxing.
This brother Lamont Roach can fight. And he's beautiful defensively as well. And seemed completely unfazed and undeterred by Tank Davis.
StephenASmith is urging GervontaDavis to hang up his gloves now, warning him about the danger of fighting Lamont Roach again. Although Davis has talked about retiring before, he hasn't actually done it. Smith feels now is the perfect time, saying Davis should think about his health and protect his legacy before it's too late.
You only have but so many fights left. You're looking to walk away from the game. How close are you to that, being undefeated and unblemished with some big fights out there for you to get?
It's close, for sure. It just, I don't know, it's a little draining, and I just want to step back for a little bit and just focus on me personally. You know, I feel like I've been doing this for some time now, and I just want to give myself a break and focus on just me as a human being, me as a father, me as a son, and things like that, in that nature.
StephenASmith said GervontaDavis wants this rematch to prove a point and quiet his doubters. After their first fight, Davis still has other choices before stepping away from boxing, but deciding to fight Roach again shows how serious he is about defending his legacy. He clearly wants to erase any doubts from their last match and is ready to settle the score in the ring.
Undefeated who gets in a fight like that finds himself with a majority draw with people questioning whether or not he legitimately won. It's usually the promoters and the audience that's calling for a rematch. GervontaDavis, who had been alluding to retirement, immediately said, let's do it again. Let's get it going. No problem at all. I give him credit for that. Because guess what? I wanted to see GervontaDavis versus Shakur Stevenson. I wanted to see him against Vitaly Lomachenko. I wanted to see him against Ryan Garcia in a rematch. I wanted to see him against Teofimo Lopez. Ladies and gentlemen, none of them deserved the shot ahead of a rematch for Lamont Roach. None of them. And check out Lamont Roach's tweets. I don't know, he said F you mean pushing my contract already signed and set for the immediate rematch because you put that in there just in case you lost. Only reason we don't fight is because you scared. GervontaDavis comes back 2 hours later and say no more. I'm pushing for the rematch. This is what we love when it comes to boxing. This is what we love to...
The hype around the upcoming rematch between GervontaDavis and Lamont Roach has fans around the world fired up. The fight is rumored to happen in August and is already being called one of the biggest boxing events of the year. Their first fight left fans with more questions than answers, and now everyone's excited to see what happens next. Social media, sports shows, and fan forums are full of bold predictions and heated arguments, making this rematch one no one wants to miss.
What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. We got a date that Tank Davis and Lamont Roach will be fighting on. We don't have a venue, we don't have a location, but I do have a date. The fight is now being penciled in to take place on August 16th. So as we know, the original date was supposed to be July the 19th. I think the day before that, man, that's not even the original date. That's probably the second to the original date. I think the original date actually was supposed to be maybe in May. But then it got pushed back to, I don't know, man. Whatever the case is, man, this fight has been rumored to take place on 2 previous dates, but now it's being penciled in to take place on August 16th. It's going down in the summer of 2025. Tank Davis will be looking to get the win over Lamont Roach, unlike the first fight, which I thought he lost.
StephenASmith, famous for his bold opinions, gave major credit to Lamont Roach for how he performed in the first fight. He praised Roach for staying calm and focused the whole time. Smith pointed out that Roach did something no one else ever had. He made GervontaDavis take a knee. That single moment changed how fans and experts saw Roach. And Smith said it was amazing to see someone people doubted rise up and prove himself against a feared fighter like Tank.
What I didn't know is that once Lamont Roach stepped into the ring, he would be the bigger fighter. What I didn't know is that once he was in the ring and he looked like the bigger fighter, he fought like the bigger fighter. Because, ladies and gentlemen, from opening bell, he walked right to GervontaDavis. Walked right to him. And stayed in his face all night long. If he backed up at all, ladies and gentlemen, it was 5% of the time. The other 95% of the time, he walked right to GervontaDavis. GervontaDavis caught him with some good shots. He took it and then gave it back. Body punches, counter punches, left hook, straight right. This brother Lamont Roach can fight. And he's beautiful defensively as well. And seemed completely unfazed and undeterred by Tank Davis, a knockout artist.
Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. shared his thoughts on how Lamont Roach has grown as a fighter. He said Roach always had the skills, it's just that people never really paid attention. Jones has been watching Roach for years and said his showing against Davis only confirmed what he already knew. Roach belongs at the top. He warned anyone calling Roach lucky, saying his technique, timing, and ring smarts were elite. And his fight with Tank proved it.
A great, formidable opponent. Tomorrow Tank gonna test his tank and see how good he is in the late round.
Presumably, Tank is supposed to, win this fight. This is a fight that there's not a lot of doubt about him coming out victorious in. So the talk shifts, and we got to know, Roy, from your perspective, Tank Shakur. When you think about that fight being a potential fight this year, how do you see it going?
I ain't gonna really think about that yet because I'm waiting till after he finishes his fight with Roach. Roach is not just your average everyday opponent. Roach is a person who knows Tank, who's been around Tank his whole life. This is a different fight. You can't put Roach to the side like that. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not saying that he's gonna win the fight. I don't know that, but Roach cannot be this underrated like that. You understand? You gotta understand that Roach came from basically the same ecosystem as Tank came from. Roach is a very formidable opponent. So I'm not gonna talk about none of that until we get found out. Because what I'm telling you about the other stuff don't really mean that right now.
Okay, let me ask you this, because it did happen.
I'm feeling good always. How you doing?
I'm always good. You're a special fighter. Tank's a special fighter. What do you like about him? What makes him different?
I like that when Tank come to fight, Tank come to knock you out. Tank don't come to just beat you by decision. He come to take you out. He come to try to get the job done best way he can. And he loves to come there and entertain the fans. He's not there to play around. He's trying to smoke you. And that's what life's supposed to be about.
Some observers have noticed GervontaDavis playing mind games leading up to the rematch. From mysterious social media posts to sly comments and interviews, Tank seems to be using mental tactics to try and throw Roach off. Many fans and experts think Davis is trying to mess with Roach's confidence before they even enter the ring.
Lamont is signed and ready to go for the rematch, correct?
Y'all can't play so many head games. It's not even funny. Let me tell you something, bro. Lamont Roach has never been this big of a fighter before. Everyone knows Lamont Roach now. So he could be reaping the benefits of just enjoying his status of having that draw with Tank, while Tank is the one with the eye of the tiger. Tank is probably in the gym training his ass off and then sign the contract like, all right, we got to fight win. Oh shit, let's hurry up and dash your ass. Sugar Ray Leonard did that to Roberto Duran. Duran was told that he had a fight in a couple weeks, and he was like, dude, I'm 190 pounds in Panama, which is why Roberto Duran was out of shape in the No Mas fight and was like, no mas. So Tank could be over there working, sign the contract in 3 weeks, and all of a sudden Lamont Roach got to put a training camp together.
To prepare for the rematch, GervontaDavis made a big move by switching trainers. This change has fans wondering if he's trying to fix mistakes from their first fight or come up with a new game plan. The new trainer is expected to help Davis work on his defense, timing, and pacing, all things that didn't look great last time. This change shows that Tank is taking the rematch seriously and is trying to fix areas where Roach might have outshined him.
Yo, what's going on, fight fans? Check it out. It looks like GervontaDavis has a new coach. Now, this is Coach Mustafa. He's a well-known coach down in the Atlanta area, and it looks like he's starting to train with him. I know he has that upcoming rematch coming up. It looks like it's slated for June. Now, this coach is known for his working on timing, precision, accuracy. Those are some of the things that this coach is well known for. He's also been training Tevin Farmer for his past 2 fights. Now, what does this mean for Tank? Is he leaving Coach Kyle and Coach Kenny, or is he adding Coach Mustafa to the team? Is it smart to switch trainers so close to a fight? Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below.
Coach Bernie didn't hold back when he talked about Davis's first fight performance. He said Tank didn't show the same fire and hunger that Roach brought. According to Bernie, Davis looked like he was just trying to make it through the rounds, instead of controlling the fight. On the other hand, Roach fought like every round counted. Bernie said a champ like Tank should have put on a statement performance, but instead, fans were left wondering if he still had the same drive.
Documentary, you know, but he did good, Lamont Roach. But only thing, like I say, if he gonna go back and wish he threw his hands more, he might start getting mad at himself and realize that he when he watches the fight, it feel good to hear everybody say that, but when you go watch the fight and you realize, I let him slide too much. Like even the last round, he's standing there posing, looking at the man like, and then he got caught with a jab. That wasn't.
So, you know, you talked about the takeaways of you know, how Lamont could be better in the rematch. And you're the second person that alluded to that. Tell me, what do you see in Lamont in the rematch that he could be more successful? And also Tank, like, you know, also, you know, he added Barry, you know, into the lead position. I don't know if that, do you feel like if that had anything to do with the directioning of it? Because we did hear in the post press conference too, Tank saying that he could have pushed the gas more. He should have, he said. So what's your take on that?
Exactly. He's the champion. He got to defend his title. He like I said, they both was looking at each other. And then finally, after look, Tank will be the one to throw the first punch. He felt like he wanted to retain his title. Lamont Roach felt like he was just happy to be there and get the success.
Lamont Roach is more fired up than ever as he trains for the rematch. He thinks their first fight didn't settle anything and believes too many people still question his skills. Roach has made it clear that this time he's going to leave no doubts. His training camp is expected to be tough, focusing on getting stronger and sharpening his game plan. Roach understands what's on the line and wants to silence all the critics by making a clear statement in the ring.
I have to come with it all. I have to do more. Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical. I have to do a lot. I have to do everything just a little more. And I think that will definitely put me over the hump. And I'm more than motivated to get back in there, get back in the camp, and work hard so I can secure a victory over a pound-for-pound fighter, in which I believe that I am myself.
Rapper and boxing enthusiast Sauce Walka has made his opinion loud and clear. He thinks Lamont Roach won the first fight. He said Roach had better movement, control, and overall performance than Tank. Sauce Walka believes real boxing fans, the ones who really study the sport, saw Roach's dominance even if the judges didn't. He sees the rematch as Tank's chance to prove he still deserves attention because, in his eyes, Roach already proved he's the better fighter.
Do you think that they should have counted that point against him? Do you think Lamont Roach won, or do you think it wasn't enough?
It could be considered a rightful draw, but I also lean towards that Lamont Roach won that fight. I believe he won the fight simply because he outclassed the champ. In boxing, you have to do two things to beat the champ. You either got to knock out the champ or completely outclass the champ. But you have to beat the champ. You're not going to just get the win because you survived or you put up a good fight. Bro lost that fight.
Facts.
Like when you really, really know boxing and know boxing for what it really, really is, Tank lost that fight. No matter how much people, emotions and feelings are attached to it, because Tank is a hero of the hood. The ghetto loved the Tank. GervontaDavis has been crowned king. My personal opinion, I don't think he should take the rematch, and I think he's already done what you just said. I think off of what he's already accomplished with the draw, he's already in a life-changing situation to where he could change every person around his life forever. He's now what's called a prize fighter, guaranteed. He's now what's also called a A-side fighter right now. But if he does what I like to call the Deontay Wilder and chase the legacy of getting the win, because you thinking from more of 100% on the boxing aspect than the business aspect, which GervontaDavis has clearly showed everybody, the larger amount of his success is from the business module of the way he does boxing that was being gifted to him through Mayweather and Mayweather Promotions and PBC. But at the end of the day, so what? That's what he's supposed to do. I'm not mad at GervontaDavis for that.
Veteran trainer Jeff Mayweather gave a deep breakdown of the first fight and spoke honestly about what he saw, though he's long supported Tank. Jeff was surprised by how much he struggled. He pointed out that Roach threw more punches, kept a steady pace, and looked more active, even though Davis had some strong moments. Jeff admitted that Roach might have taken the win based on volume and control. His honest take added weight to the ongoing debate over who really...
Versus than I think I might have ever seen. I don't know how that's not a knockdown. But anyway, thoughts on the overall fight first, Jeff?
I think that it was a good fight on both sides, and I do think that Roach actually won the fight. I thought he outworked Tank. Thought that he threw more punches than Tank. It seemed like Tank was fighting like he always do. It just seemed like he was just waiting for him to figure out whoever was in front of him like he always do, and then go to work. But this time when he went to work, the guy went to work back. So, I mean, he had somebody that was firing back at him the same way.
I think the commentators and most of us at home thought, kind of the same thing. You thought Roach would bank some of those early rounds to prepare for the onslaught later. And when it didn't really happen, it was pretty even. We said, well, this is going to be a one-sided fight. But yeah, it never happened. And Roach, through the latter half of the fight, actually seemed to do better than the first half.
I thought he did good pretty much all the way through the fight. I mean, there was a few rounds where he didn't do that well, but I mean, I thought he won the fight clearly. I mean, I didn't see Gervonta really the Gervonta that I know. I mean, I'm a big Gervonta fan, but I didn't see none of the Gervonta that I'm used to seeing.
Why do you think that is? Roach was pretty lightly, valued coming into the fight, moving up a weight class. It's not somebody that they expected to give him a huge challenge. What do you think it was that Roach presented to Tank that made it so difficult for him?
The one thing is that he fought at the right distance, and he let his hands go. And that's the most important part. Is that's how you win a fight, by letting your hands go. I mean, Gervonta was sitting back, waiting like he normally does, and then all of a sudden he finishes him. He always finishes his opponents, but this time it didn't happen.
StephenASmith, never afraid to admit when he's wrong, confessed that he underestimated Lamont Roach. He thought Roach's smaller size would be a problem, but the fight proved otherwise. Roach took Davis's big punches and came back even harder. Smith said that by the third round, it was clear Roach wasn't just surviving, he was leading. He said Roach earned everyone's respect that night. Shocker Stevenson also broke down the fight from a boxer's point of view, pointing out how smart Roach's strategy was. Stevenson, who's sparred with Roach before, wasn't surprised and said that Roach's defense stood out, while Tank has. Speed and power, Stevenson explained how Roach's timing and movement canceled much of that out, making the fight way closer than people expected.
I like Lamont in the rematch.
Who were one of the few that kind of picked Lamont to begin with? Why was that?
I sparred with Lamont. I knew that he was a good fighter. He helped me get ready for the Oscar Valdez fight. And I knew his style, with Tank's style, what he was going to be able to bring to the table. I knew it. So,
did you really win 20 rounds?
I swear to God, on my daughter's life, I won that much money.
How different does a rematch look in your opinion, Shakur? What adjustments do you think we see from both?
Huh?
What adjustments do we see from both in a rematch?
I think I can't tell you game plans. I could be fighting these guys, so I'm gonna keep my secrets to myself. But truthfully, they both good fighters.
Do you think it's a lot different rematch, or do you think it'll be close again?
It's gonna be a hell of a fight.
How did you see Tank in that fight? A lot of people are saying maybe he's just mentally not there. What did you see?
Nah, he was the same Tank. I don't believe that. I don't got no thought in my brain that makes me think that he wasn't the person he been all of these other fights. I think he was the same person. All this stuff that he going through stuff. I mean, everybody go through stuff. So he's the same fighter. He's gonna be the same fighter throughout his career. So